What is Burrow and the Bengals ceiling in the playoffs, would you say?
I think it's a Super Bowl. I really do. And I didn't say that before, but then after the Super Bowl, getting to the Super Bowl, winning the AFC, beating teams like the Chiefs, which they did just 2 weeks ago in outstanding fashion. The teams like the Chiefs, which they beat 34-31, and Joe Burrow went crazy, 30 of 39, 466 yards. Jamar Chase went crazy, 266 receiving yards. I didn't believe in the Bengals at first. I ain't gonna lie. I was like everybody else, like, man, they've been up. Man, they've been down. Will they do it? Can they do it? Then they won the division. And then they started balling. And then T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow started been balling. Then the defense has been stepping up. And so for me, first I was like, yeah, they'll probably flounder. Then I saw Joe Burrow with that cigar in his mouth in the locker room talking about, I did this, right? Then I saw Jamar Chase touch the rock and magically appear in the end zone time and time again, 3 different times when he played the Chiefs. I'm like, bro, what is going on? If the Chiefs are the standard, if the Chiefs are the teams you got to get through, and the Bengals did it in outstanding fashion, I'm like, okay, well, cool. Maybe you can win the AFC and get to the Super Bowl. Now we're talking about ceilings. Do I think they will? No, I think that other teams are probably more suited to do it. But we're talking about ceilings, talking about opportunity, talking about upside, talking about future. Joe Burrow is that dude, and Joe Burrow can do that thing.
Well, I think if you're talking distant future, you're probably right. Or, I mean, not necessarily distant future, but not this season is my point. So when I saw this question, my immediate reaction was like I was like infected by the swag of Joe Cool. And I was like, man, if he plays like that, they can go anywhere. If those receivers play like that, there's nobody who can stop them. When they're able to protect Joe Burrow and he's able to get the ball to those receivers, I think that, yes, they could outscore anybody with the way that defense is playing. But the issue for me is that you cannot expect them to be able to do that for 3 rounds in a row. Like, I don't see that working out. That magic is not going to keep up. It's not attractive. It's not fun to talk about offensive line play. And I'm like you, I want to bank on the cigar smoking Burrow and those outstanding magicians that they have at receiver. But I know one thing. If them big guys up front can't keep them boys off you, it's going to be a problem. And they are in the playoffs. They're going to have to play against teams that have good pass rushes that can get after them with 4, which allows them to do more creative things in the secondary to account for those receivers that he has and he loves.
Nick, I hear where you're coming from totally. And I think we were on the same boat. And then somehow maybe like, you got on the life raft and then somebody got like we were on the same boat. And then something happened. You got on the life raft. I'm still on the boat, bro. I'm on the Bengals and Burrow boat.
I took the common sense helicopter off of the boat is what I did. I didn't get on no life raft. You are on this luxury.
He snuck on with the women and the children.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I differ in what you said. Let me tell you why I differ, because I get it. The most sacked quarterback in the playoffs. He had 50 sacks. He was sacked over 50 times this year. I was watching that Patriots game. I'm like, man, he got sacked again and again and again. And man, they were down big in the first half. But then all of a sudden, the magic happened. Like, that's what happened. The magic happened. And I didn't want to believe it, despite the sacks. I'm listening to the broadcast. They're like, man, he's sacked again. That's 50. Then all of a sudden, he finds a way to win the game. And so for me, a guy who did not believe, I'm being real, Nick, because at first I was like, Raiders are going to win this game, man. Raiders, they're hot. They found a way. They're playing with house money. Then I was like, man, who's going to stop Jamar Chase? Like, straight up, I feel like he's like the Michael Jordan of the NFL. Like, when he can't be stopped. Like, at certain times, he cannot be stopped. That's a bold statement. I get it. But, like, he had 266 yards. Who's going to stop him? Who's going to stop Tyler Boyd? Who's going to stop Joe Mixon? And you talk about players, right? Offensive line, I get it. Might be a weak point. But defensively, Von Bell can play. Eli Apple has made some huge plays. Sam Hubbard can play. They're playmakers on the defensive side of the ball as well. And so for me, I'm on the boat. You were on the boat. You hopped off whether through a life raft or a helicopter. Find a way to get back on the boat.
I can't get on this fantasy cruise liner because, like you said, it's magic. You know what magic is? It's an illusion. It's smoke and mirrors. It ain't real. I hate to burst your bubble, but you know what's real? And as much as I hate to do this because I get on my man Jeff Saturday all the time about how he only talks about the offensive line and how much he cares, that is real. That is down and dirty, and it is real football. And no matter how complicated the game gets, how fast or athletic the receivers get, if you can't protect your quarterback, you're going to be in trouble. And you're right. There may not be any single person in this league that can stop Jamar Chase. But if you can get pressure with 4, you can put 2 on him. You can put 2 on Boyd. You can put 2 on Mixon. You can put 2 on everybody in order to.
You're running out of numbers now.
You got enough. No, you got enough people. If you only have to put 4 down to rush the passer, that leaves you with 7 other guys to put elsewhere. I think we're good.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.